line with us. We have a very special guest today. Thank you so much for joining us. His name is Marc Farzetta. He is at 94 WIP. He is the IP director at Sunday Night Football. He is a Temple grad. Marc, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a moment of your time. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent, fellas. What's going on with you?
Not too much. We're just on the heels of what was an amazing week to be a Temple Owl. My goodness. Marc, did you ever imagine in your life as a Temple football fan that you would witness something so special?
No. I mean, obviously I hoped for it like all of us, but, I mean, when I was sitting in the same seat that you guys are sitting in now, I remember covering a game, and I've referenced this many times on the air at WIP, the Owls losing to Bowling Green, something like 70-16.
Good Lord.
And I just remember covering that game. Bobby Wallace was the head coach. And I remember asking him after the game, did you expect Bowling Green to be that good offensively? And his exact quote, I'll never forget it. He said it with his southern drawl and everything. Coach Wallace, did you expect Bowling Green to be that good offensively? Absolutely not. Just like that. So Temple play against Notre Dame in South Philly in front of a full Lincoln Financial Field against Notre Dame. Having college game day here that morning, that was absolutely a dream come true and absolutely surreal.
I mean, you're obviously in the Philadelphia media. What was it like to cover that?
Again, I can't – you always try to draw the line like, okay, I'm Philly media here, I'm a Temple fan here. But, I mean, it's just impossible because you're in the media because you went to Temple. So there's no separating it whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So it was just a very amazing thing to be able to talk about it on the air and have people, really the city of Philadelphia, to have the city of Philadelphia care about Temple football, have it be a topic of conversation here in Philadelphia, and a topic of conversation across the country, thanks to College Game Day and thanks to it being nationally broadcast, was just incredible.
Marc, you're a local product out of Archbishop Wood High School. This is Eagles Cowboys week. This is the biggest week, or one of two rather, of the season. And here we are talking Temple football. It's unforeseen, unbelievable. But let's digress. Change gears real fast. Eagles Cowboys. It's the week. I gotta say, it kind of feels like we're a little cheated, honestly. Like there's no Tony Romo, there's no Des Bryant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just a little cheated out of it. I mean, granted, of course, you want to win the game, obviously.
Yeah. But I mean, I know this conversation always comes up with Angelo in terms of, do you want to beat a team at their best or do you just want to beat the team? I always want to beat a team at the best because I always like to eliminate the yeah but. Like, you beat the Cowboys, yeah, but they didn't have Des Bryant, yeah, but they didn't have Tony Romo, whatever. To me, I want to beat a team when they're at their absolute best. That way there's no questions asked. There's no yeah, but after the game. There's nothing to say other than, no. You are at your best, and the Eagles beat you at your best.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to beat them at their best. And, obviously, hopefully we beat them. I mean, you really should. I mean, Matt Castle against this defense. I mean, how do you see that matchup playing out?
Just to go against their defense?
Yeah, the Eagles defense, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Cowboys offense against the Eagles defense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the Cowboys have had a solid offensive line all year, and I bet you DeMarco Murray certainly misses that offensive line and that cohesion there. And I was talking to some of the guys in the locker room yesterday, as a matter of fact. Bo Allen was talking about the dominance of their offensive line and how they're going to have to figure out a way to put pressure on Matt Castle, stop the run game. Jason Kelsey was talking about the same thing, went on at length. Talking about, Betty Logan went on talking about it at length about what they can do with that offensive line. But really, I think it's just going to be a matter of overpowering them. And it's not just the fact that the Eagles have a solid defensive line. It's the fact that their linebackers, especially getting Kiko Alonso back, getting that, I don't want to call it a diamond in the rough, but the very pleasant surprise in Jordan Hicks. Having those guys be able to play up front and take over for some injured players is a great thing to have. And I see that working out well for the Eagles this coming Sunday. But getting away from the defense for a second, the defense, it's funny, outside the first two games of the season, the defense has the question. The defense has played very well, and it's almost a shame because in Philadelphia we've always been a town that wants to hang our hat on a strong, tough, hard-hitting defense. And we have that right now. But it's over overshadowed by the fact that the quote-unquote, and everyone says this, Chip Kelly doesn't say this, but everybody else says it, the genius Chip Kelly, the offensive genius Chip Kelly. The fact that we were so ready to watch an offense put up points at will hurts the idea of us being so behind our defense. If it was anybody else, if it wasn't Chip Kelly and the innovator Chip Kelly about what he could do with the offense, we'd all be geeked up and focused on what the defense had been doing this season.
Yeah, the offense undoubtedly is holding this team back. I mean, without question, I mean, obviously the blitz is not what it once was with Jim Johnson, but this defense is the best thing that they've had since Jim Johnson. You're absolutely right. Chip Kelly is the offensive masterminds, and all of a sudden he can't make it work with Sam Bradford, his own creation. At that same token, do you blame the offensive struggles on Chip the coach or Chip the GM?
Well, I mean, always trying to. I would blame Chip the GM just because he had pieces here already that you saw work, and people want to talk about the offensive line and what would Nick Foles do if he was still here behind this offensive line? Maybe similar to what he did last year, but with a better defense. It's crazy to think about a guy like Nick Foles that was 14-4 under Chip Kelly as a starting quarterback, and Chip Kelly said, no, not good enough, I need to bring in somebody else. And who does he bring in? A guy with the exact same skill set as Nick Foles. And people wanted to argue back and forth with me about, Bradford's a number one pick, and he's not as good as Bradford. Well, guess what? He looks just as damn good a bit as Bradford can ever play football. And Nick Foles set the bar pretty high in this offense. 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We all know those numbers. But also just the fact, again, 14-4. That's a high bar. And if you want to come in as Sam Bradford and try to get to that bar, well, right now you got a lot of work in front of you.
You're absolutely right. Nick Foles was 6-2 last season, and people were still ragging on the guy. I don't understand it. I don't understand it one bit.
No, I don't get it either. I think a lot of it, people go back to 2 games in particular. They go back to the Arizona game when Nick Foles had the ball to end the game and try to march down the field and win the game. Same thing against San Francisco. San Francisco, Arizona, the 2 games Nick Foles could have driven down the field and won the game. One play against San Francisco, he put the ball in the end zone on Riley Cooper's hands to win it. Riley Cooper dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles could have scored then from the 1-yard line after that. The game against Arizona, Nick Foles just couldn't help it. He just couldn't do it. Got him to, I think, within the red zone, within the 20, and then couldn't put the ball in the end zone to win it. So, I mean, people will look at those 2 games, but again, that's 2 games, 6-2. That's not too shabby.
Every year there's that game where it seems like they're the Eagles, they just drop it. I remember against Tampa a bunch of years back where they gave up a 64-yard field goal to Matt Bryant at the end of regulation. It was just a dagger. It seems like the defense had given up the last 15 seconds or so. This season, I think the Falcons game is that game. They had it in the palm of their hands against, frankly, a team with an easy schedule and a not-so-good defense, and they could not finish.
Yeah, same kicker, by the way.
Of course.
In Matt Bryant. Yeah, it's unreal. And that's really, that was, I think, the reality check a lot of people needed in this city. Some people just kind of wrote it off as, it's just the opener. It's the first time these guys are playing together. They look great in the second half. To me, there was never a moment where that team looked great. And people can tell me all they want about how Sam Bradford completed something like 15 of 16 passes in the second half, whatever it was. They were dink and dunk throws that my great aunt could complete. And trust me, I play with her every Thanksgiving. She's got a hell of an arm.
Hey, Mark, it's JT. Just back to the Bradford situation for a little bit. If he goes out against the Cowboys and has a poor start, and I'm not talking about if his wide receivers aren't helping him. I'm just saying, like, if he himself is just not there with his receivers and timing wise, and he has another poor start the week after. How long does Chip Kelly stick with Bradford? Is he ride or die for the rest of the season, or is there a chance we see Mark Sanchez come in, towards the end, maybe week 15, 16?
JT, that's a good question. That's the absolutely the $64,000 question, and I'll go ahead and answer it right now. Not very long. In my opinion, you should have benched him 3 games ago.
Wow.
This is absolute. No missing words here. This is BS. There's no way Sam Bradford should still have his job as the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. Mark Sanchez did a fine job of running this offense last year, kept it on pace, still scored points. He was quarterback for half the season of an offense that was ranked top 5 in points scored, top 5 in yards. So to me, I don't know what he needs to prove more than, hey, what he proved last year. So Bradford, to me, had his chance, couldn't take advantage of it. Don't give me drops. At some point, this has got to fall on the quarterback. When the quarterback in his career is something along the lines of 19-33-1 as a starting quarterback, yeah, there's a point where he's the common denominator here. So a change needed to be made already. And I know that this is Chip's call, obviously 100%, but there's no excuses. Even if you're Chip Kelly, and you can give this guy every excuse in the book, even if you're Chip Kelly, if he comes out in this game and even plays a poor first half and you're down, you got to make a change at halftime. I mean, that's how soon it's going to happen if you're Chip Kelly. Again, personally, I want it to happen 3 weeks ago. But right now, I'm looking at this offense, and I'm looking at Sam Bradford, and I'm saying, this is after a bye week. You had a chance to digest what happened in the first half of the season, digest the playbook. Maybe you missed out on a little bit during training camp, mini camp, whatever. Get out there, put up or shut up, and start going.
Yeah, I mean, wow, there's some strong opinions there. So clearly, you're not a fan of what Bradford's doing this season.
How can you be?
and you're just at the end of the season. What would your opinion be on the Eagles maybe going after a Colin Kaepernick type, like somebody that can actually, like a mobile quarterback that can actually fit well into this offense?
Well, let's put it this way again. You know my opinion on Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford, you want to talk about setting that bar high? Sam Bradford hasn't done that this year. I don't like Colin Kaepernick. I actually loved Colin Kaepernick 3 years ago actually, in 2012. I was in New England watching him take on the Patriots, and he was doing pretty much anything he wanted to do in that game, running, throwing. I think he threw 4 touchdown passes. They were blowing out the Patriots before Tom Brady and his receivers put up about 21 points, 28 points in the fourth quarter, just to make it a little close. I mean, they were all over the place. Kaepernick, I was watching him, unbelievable watching him play. That's when the league was getting used to him. People talk about the league adapted to Chip Kelly. The league is adapted to Colin Kaepernick. And basically what he is now is a quarterback that drops back, has no progression, by the way. Progression implies a series of reads. There's no progression. All it is one read. That read's not there, he's gone. Or it's a little check down, a little dump pass to whoever might be open out of the backfield. So to me, that's not the type of quarterback that I want running this offense. I'd rather have a quarterback that can make quick decisions, deliver the ball accurately, and not turn the football over. That's what Chip Kelly really is. Having a mobile quarterback, all well and good, and I know people look at the read option and go, oh, hey, they run the read option. It would work great. Well, they run the read option in San Francisco, and it's not doing anything. Now, again, getting back to Bradford, he's not setting the bar high. If you want to see what one mobile quarterback would do, yeah, okay, but I'm not going to give up a lot for him. And the fact that his contract is so friendly, I mean, as of April 1st, that's where everything becomes official. But they can essentially cut him for just $13 million. The $13 million is due this year, and move on. That's what the San Francisco 49ers could do. But when I look at this offense as a whole right now, it'd be nice to have the mobile quarterback, but that's not a cure-all.
Is there truth? You mentioned the contract situation with Bradford. Is there truth to the 4 years, $72 million contract?
No, I hope not. Because that would be the single dumbest contract in the history of sports.
Who is more stupid, Sam Bradford for not taking that, or the Eagles?
Can they both walk into walls? I mean, seriously. I mean, if the Eagles offer that to a guy who hadn't played in essentially 2 years, a guy who still hadn't proven himself at the pro level, that's just ridiculous. And Chip Kelly should fire himself. And if it's Sam Bradford turning it down and his agent turning it down, that's just idiotic. Absolutely 100% idiotic. There's no other word to describe it.
An enormous head scratcher, no doubt. Let me leave you with this. One final question. Is Sam Bradford the worst quarterback the Eagles have ever seen?
No, he's not the worst quarterback.
Who would you compare him to?
It's funny. I have no personal agenda against Sam Bradford. I'm just watching the quarterback of the Eagles play right now, and I'm not at all impressed. There's nothing he's doing in these games that I go, wow, thank God we got this guy instead of Nick Foles. Thank God the team we root for to win the Super Bowl every year has Sam Bradford and not Nick Foles. I mean, think about it this way. If you're to justify that trade, if you were to offer the St. Louis Rams Sam Bradford for Nick Foles and a round pick, would you take that?
One more time. You faded out on us.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you were to re-offer the trade to St. Louis in reverse, hey, St. Louis, the Rams, we'll give you Sam Bradford. We want a second-round pick and Nick Foles. Would you do it?
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat, you'd do it, of course, because you're a brilliant young man because you go to Temple.
Spoken like a true Temple-made man. Thank you so much, Marc Farzetta, for joining us today. We really appreciate some of your time.
With all that being said, I hope to God the Eagles win.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to. Oh gosh, I don't even want to know if they lose. Does Sam Bradford get benched if they lose?
It's crazy. I don't think he does. I think Chip is I think maybe JT said it earlier. Ride or tie. I think we're all dying. I think we're all dying.
On that note, again, thank you so much, Mark. I'm losing my voice here. Yeah, from the Temple game. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. That's great. That is fantastic radio.
Still recovering from that Temple weekend. It was a great weekend. I think everybody's still a little bit on the recovery there. Just a fantastic weekend for Temple students, alumnus, just the whole city of Philadelphia.
Good Lord. Okay, I'm back, sort of. Anyway, that's Marc Farzetta. He's at 94 WIP. He's the IP director at Sunday Night Football. He's a local product, a graduate of Archbishop Wood High, and most importantly, he is a Temple grad. Mark, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Zach. Take it easy, guys.
You too.
You too.
All right. That was Marc Farzetta. Wow, that ended
You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I had like a cough attack. Oh, my goodness. That was a treat. And my screen is down here. Come
almost
on.
had to call the medical staff in. Jeez. Take a 30-second timeout, guys. Come on.
Like I've never had to utilize the cough button, and I almost just did. That was a blast. But Marc Farzetta is legitimately one of my favorite personalities in this city because of interviews just like that. He brought not only some hot takes to it, but he made it funny. He made it entertaining.
It's personable.
Yeah, you see?
He's one of you guys, one of you crazy Philadelphia fans.
That's Philly for you, baby. We live and die. Oh, gosh. And we are mostly dying.